This is the end of the beginning. Welcome to today's show. Obviously, anybody out there who's paying attention is probably thinking something's going to go down in the year 2024, but at some point, something really is going to go down. And if you're a Christian, you should be aware of this. A lot of people say, well, it's fear-mongering to talk about the end of the world. It's fear-mongering to bring up any of the stuff going on. It's even worldly, some people say. Even though the Bible talks about the wicked just as much as it talks about the glory of God, just as much as it talks about God's commandments. The Bible warns us about the wicked. That's what I've always tried to do, is warn people about the wicked, because they need to know about the wicked. Some people out there, believe it or not, some people out there who are not Christian, who don't follow Christ, would rather actually, or it would be easier to wake them up by showing them the evil in this world than it would be to knock on their door and start reading from the Bible. So I get accused a lot. I don't read enough from the Bible. But at the same time, a lot of people don't want it forced on them that way. If they see the wicked in the world, a lot of people go, you know what? That is true. All these celebrities are talking about Satan, right? Then they pretend to be atheists, or they say they're just joking, but it's everywhere. It's all over the place. It makes them start to think. Then they start to think about the lies, and they get that, starts going through their head about how the school system is nothing but lies. And they start saying, yeah, a lot of stuff in the school system is lies. Would evolution be? Yeah, the biggest. That's the easiest one. That's the biggest hook, line, and sinker. You could tattoo sucker on your forehead if you're an atheist, because you really bought into some of the stupidest stuff ever. You don't even need to debunk it. It's just hilarity is really what it is with the evolution and monkeys and cavemen. And really, do we really even need to have debates? I often say about how in Congress, the fact that they bring up if men could have babies or not, is it should be enough for all of us to impeach everyone in Congress. Because you shouldn't even be addressing these types of things, but they're obviously working us in Congress because Republicans, instead of doing anything, are just gaslighting everyone and allowing this to occur, which shows us that they're all compromised, right? But these types of topics, even evolution, shouldn't even be addressed because they're laughable. You could dismiss it in a second, and you don't even need to dismiss it. If somebody's actually believing it and needs it to be dismissed, then they're living in an alternate reality. So what I wanted to do, because I get hit a lot with that stuff about not reading enough, is I did want to read something that everyone out there should hear. So I know you're used to people probably reading the Bible on some channels, but I just want to read to you from Isaiah chapter 2, okay, about everything coming to pass, right? So Isaiah chapter 2, the word that Isaiah, the son of Amoz, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Lord. Therefore thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and are soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of strangers. Their land also is full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land is also full of horses, neither is there any end of their chariots. Their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. And the mean man boweth down, and the great man humbleth himself. Therefore forgive them not. Enter into the rock, and hide thee in the dust, for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. And upon all the cedars of Lebanon that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills that are lifted up, and upon every high tower, and upon every fenced wall, and upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all pleasant pictures. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. And the idols he shall utterly abolish, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty, when he erreth to shake terribly the earth. In that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats, to go into the cliffs of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks, for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty, when he arseth to shake terribly the earth. Cease ye from man, whose breath is in the nostrils, for wherein is he to be accounted of? And I'll stop there. I just wanted to read that passage, because justice will be God's in the end. And of course, we all want to do things to make sure we're prepared for everything that happens, because I don't understand anybody's mindset who says, hey, I can't wait for it to happen. Well, okay, that's great. I mean, we all are looking around us and are disgusted by what's going on here. So of course, it's going to be great when God comes and gives his swift vengeance to these people, because vengeance is the Lord's. But I think what people need to be aware of is when you are by yourself or whoever you're with and you don't have food and you don't have water, you're going to wish that you did. Okay, you're going to wish that you were mentally prepared to handle what's coming. And that's all I want to do, is prepare people mentally for what is coming. Well, I want to do more than that, but that's one of the things I really want to be able to help people do, so that when this hits you, it isn't a shock to you, that you are prepared in some way, shape, or form. And I constantly tell people, vengeance is God's, but that doesn't mean that we're supposed to sit here and bend over to what they're planning to do to all of us. Try to come out on the other side of whatever events they start to push upon us in 2024, but also remember that whoever appears in media, whether it's Trump or someone else, do not follow these people. These people are liars and deceivers. They only make Satan's airwaves if they want them out there. Okay, I'm just a guy making videos here. I'm not known. I'm not very popular. I'm not trying to do this to gatekeep you or to try to herd you into something. I'm not doing anything of the sort. I'm trying to let you know, because I know there's a lot of young people out there that listen, that these people like Trump, they might sound good on paper. They might tell you things and tickle your ears, but that's all done by design. Okay, these people wouldn't be able to herd you and manipulate you if they didn't gain your trust somehow. And what they're doing right now is trying to gain your trust. That's why you see the mainstream talking about a lot of the conspiracies that I've covered over the years. They're talking about those things because they're trying to gain your trust. They're trying to make it look like they're banished from YouTube and they're banished from Twitter and they're thrown off Fox News to gain your trust. And you have to be smarter than that. You have to be as wise as serpents and as innocent as doves. And this is a time period that calls people to be as wise as serpents, because the serpents are rising all around us. I thank everybody for being here. I hope everybody out there is well. I appreciate everybody who's still here on this channel. And of course, if you need to find new content, I think you know at this point where to find it. So I won't push it again, but I thank everybody for being here. God bless all of you and your families.